Right now I'm painting the rocks on this watercolor and gouache piece, so I thought I would show you how I like to paint rocks. I'm using this Himi gouache set. I'm going to use the black and then this row down here. On my palette, I've created a value scale with the colors that I want to use, so I have the darkest color here, and then I've slowly added white until I reach the lightest color that I want to use here. I've already done this with watercolor, but now I'm going over it with gouache just to make the paint like more intense and rich. My first step is to use the darkest color that I'm using on my palette, and essentially all I'm doing is tracing each rock just to establish its shape, but also to get a little bit of the shadows being built up. I carefully look at my photo reference just to see where the biggest shadows are so that I can pay attention to the shapes that I'm creating as I do the rocks. Now once I have that done, I'm going to activate sort of like the medium color that I have on my palette, and then I'm going to basically just fill in the remaining spaces. Once these are all filled in, I'll more carefully look at my photo reference and go in with some highlights. This is also the first layer of gouache that I'm adding on this painting, so I tend to keep things a little bit more loosey-goosey and then focus on adding more details and smaller things as I keep adding more layers of paint. Now we're going to go from this to this when I add the lightest value that I want to use and the details that I want to try to get. I definitely pay very close attention to my photo reference at this point and just follow the light areas that I'm seeing on the rocks and follow their shapes more closely. I'm also paying very close attention to the light source in the reference image that I'm looking at, which is falling onto the rocks onto the right side. So just making sure that my highlights are being built up by following the light source in the photo that I'm using. Now that I've got a range of value going on, I have like the darkest shadows, I have a medium color, and now I'm adding the lightest color. It's building up more depth and dimension within the rocks and all of their shapes and the layers of them. Lastly, I'm just going to go in with one more layer of an even lighter color and just focus on the teeny tiniest little highlights that are the brightest on the rocks. That's how I like to paint rocks. I hope you enjoyed watching, and thank you!